Captain Jake Morrison paced steadily across the bridge of the USS Defiant. He stared out the wide front viewport, where alien vessels hovered around them. The ships shimmered, sleek and radiant, like floating sculptures made of glass and starlight. In comparison, the Defiant looked battered and worn. It bore the scars of countless skirmishes. Its hull was pitted with damage and repairs. Patches of mismatched plating showed where systems had been replaced. Even its weapons, reliable but aging, seemed outclassed beside the alien firepower. But Jake didn't care. This ship was his home. Lieutenant Amy Carter monitored communications. At her console, her brow furrowed as she listened. The aliens were mocking them again. She spun toward Jake and muttered, "Captain, they're calling us primitive. They say our ship is garbage." Jake gave a quiet nod. He'd heard worse. Alien civilizations often dismissed humans as backward. They looked at the Defiant and scoffed. They didn't know what Jake and his crew were preparing. Nearby, Commander Steve Phillips was checking the weapon systems. As head of tactical, he knew the ship's arsenal inside and out. He glanced at his console. Plasma cannons are at 73%. Missiles are ready. The special weapons still sealed in the cargo hold. Jake's lips curled at the mention. The special weapon was their secret, and his alone to unlock. The aliens had no clue what humanity had been building in silence. In the science lab, Dr. Lisa Green pored over streams of alien data. For months, she had analyzed every scan the Defiant received. Each insult, each scan was a clue. Every time the aliens ridiculed humanity, Lisa recorded it, studied it, and learned. The alien fleet was led by Admiral Sexton of the Zephyrian race. His flagship dwarfed the Defiant, bristling with high-powered weaponry. Another message came through the translator. "Humans, your ship is a relic. How did you even reach space with such outdated tools? You're like infants playing at war." Amy clenched her fists. Rage burned behind her eyes, but Jake gently touched her shoulder. "Let them talk," he said quietly. "Words are wind." The crew around them showed restraint, but frustration simmered. They had endured years of mockery. The Galactic Council, a union of dominant alien species, had placed humanity at the very bottom. Jake remembered the first contact 5 years ago. Earth had been hopeful, dreaming of allies, but instead of friendship, they'd received derision. Human tech was laughed at. The Council denied Earth a seat, calling them too undeveloped to matter. Now, 12 Zephyrian ships edged closer to the Defiant, each one 3 times their size, capable of raising entire worlds. Jake's crew numbered only 43. The Zephyrian vessels carried thousands. Steve looked up from his display. "Captain there, powering up, preparing to tow us." Jake already knew where they were headed, the Council homeworld. Their judgment would be passed on whether humans could remain in space or be exiled forever. Most believed Earth should be locked away, never to fly again. Lisa entered the bridge with a data pad in hand. "Captain," she said, "I've decoded their shield patterns. I know how their weapons function now. They gave us everything without realizing it." Jake's grin returned. This was the moment he'd prepared for. While the aliens mocked them, Lisa had cracked their defenses. Human scientists, Jake told the bridge, have always been good at reverse engineering. They think we're fools. That old ships mean weak minds. Amy tilted her head. So what did they forget? They forgot we're survivors. We adapt. We learn. When pushed, we push back harder, and most of all, we don't quit. The alien fleet began their course toward the Council's world. To the aliens, this was a formality. They believed humans would plead and surrender. Jake took his seat at the center of the bridge. His crew turned to him with unwavering trust. Each one had chosen to be here, knowing the risks. They knew this might be a one-way mission. "Crew," Jake said through the intercom, "prepare for what's next. We're about to remind the galaxy what humans are made of." They laughed at our ship. Soon, they'll learn how wrong appearances can be. The Defiant moved in formation, flanked by glittering alien giants. From the outside, it looked like a prisoner being led to judgment. Jail. Alien crews chuckled, mocking the battered human vessel. But within the Defiant, something else was unfolding. The crew moved with purpose, bracing for a moment the aliens could never predict. This operation had been in motion for a long time. They'd learned the alien dialects, cracked their systems, studied their ships, and now the time had come. Jake's fingers hovered over the special weapons controls built into his chair. That moment was nearing. Very soon, the entire galaxy would understand the mistake they'd made judging humanity by appearance. Mocking had awakened something dangerous. The journey to the Council's world would span 3 days. Jake used every second to finalize their plan. The crew worked around the clock readying for what was to come, because once they arrived, nothing would be the same again. The aliens were unwittingly escorting their own undoing. They thought they were delivering a fragile species to judgment. In reality, they were transporting a hidden force capable of altering the galactic balance forever. The Council world was Nexus Prime, a gleaming sphere of crystalline towers and metal cities piercing the skies like titans. At its heart stood the courthouse, a colossal dome glowing with blue radiance. Jake Morrison led his team through the entrance. Amy Carter, Steve Phillips, and Lisa Green marched beside him. They wore formal uniforms, crisp and dignified, yet modest beside the extravagant alien attire. The chamber was vast, able to hold thousands. All around, alien delegates filled elevated rows, peering down at the humans with cold detachment. 12 races in total, each physically unique, yet all wore the same expression: disdain. Screens along the walls streamed alien characters, while star-like lights danced across the ceiling. Everything in the design screamed authority, intimidation, and power. The Council wanted all who entered to feel insignificant. Jake and his crew stood at the chamber's center. Spotlight encircled them in pale illumination. Above, alien judges hovered on circular platforms. When they spoke, their amplified voices echoed with mechanical precision. Chancellor Vorgok presided, tall and slender, his skin ashen gray. His deep-set black eyes revealed no emotion. A translator converted his words to Earth Standard humans. Chancellor Vorgok declared, "You are accused of disrupting Galactic harmony. You entered forbidden zones. You meddled with trade networks. You claimed planets unlawfully. How do you plead?" Jake stepped forward. His voice held calm resolve. "For the right to explore, as all sentient life does. There's enough. Galaxy for everyone." A ripple of laughter rolled across the alien rows. Not joy mockery. It was the cold amusement of those who felt superior. Admiral Sexton rose, his blue skin catching the light. "You speak of rights," he scoffed. "Look at your disgrace of a ship. Your kind wields tools barely fit for mining. You were infants." Among Titans, more cruel laughter followed. Some pointed at the humans, mimicking ignorance with exaggerated gestures. Lisa Green kept her expression neutral, but beneath her uniform, a small recorder captured it all. Every word, every movement, every system in the room was under quiet study. Steve Phillips stood calm, scanning the environment. He committed guard positions, escape routes, and vulnerabilities to memory. Instinct and training guided him. Amy Carter listened without looking up. She'd learned multiple alien dialects and now heard the private whispers. "They're so weak," one alien sneered. "Even our smallest drone could crush them," another muttered. "How did they ever make it this far?" Amy signed silent. Translations to Jake. He nodded subtly with each one. The hearing dragged on for hours. Witnesses emerged to criticize humanity. Holograms of Earth ships filled the screens. Charts and graphs compared technologies. A Zephyrian scientist delivered the most damning data. "This ship is crude, its plating is thin. Its weapons rely on outdated ballistics. Its logic cores are mechanical. They lack quantum systems." Every argument built the same conclusion. Humans were unfit to operate among the stars. Unpredictable, backward, a liability. With every insult, the aliens unknowingly exposed their own systems, how their shields operated, how their weapons triggered. In trying to belittle humans, They'd revealed more than months of espionage ever had. Lisa caught it all. Every explanation meant another piece of their tech cracked open. At last, Chancellor Vorgok stood to announce the ruling. Silence swallowed the chamber. Even the glow seemed to dim. "The council has spoken," he said. "Humans are too primitive and volatile for galactic inclusion. You are assigned one system on the outer rim. Leave it, and you will be annihilated." Applause erupted. Aliens clapped and roared in self-satisfaction. They believed the human problem was caged. Jake stepped forward again, this time smiling. "Chancellor, we accept your judgment, but we ask one courtesy." Vorjek narrowed his eyes. "Speak. Grant a safe return to our assigned space. We wish no conflict through misinterpretation." Vorjak waved it away. "Granted, you may go... escorted to your designated system by our fleet. Admiral Sexton will personally oversee your safe arrival." The aliens found this amusing, sending their most powerful admiral to chaperone one ragged human ship. It was like assigning a warship to babysit a canoe. But Jake's grin only widened. Everything was falling perfectly into place. The aliens had given him precisely what he needed. They had exposed their tech, assigned him an elite escort, and granted safe passage to human space. When the trial ended, Jake and his crew were guided back to the Defiant. Alien officers watched their departure with smug satisfaction. They believed the human threat had been neatly contained. Lisa returned to the ship with her hidden device, now filled with detailed data on a dozen alien technologies. Steve had mapped out the Council's capital world in his mind. Amy had deciphered protocols used by the alien fleets. Aboard the Defiant, Jake gathered the crew. "Phase 1 is done," he said. "They handed us the tools we needed. Now we go home and prepare for Phase 2. The crew nodded, pride in their eyes. They had all chosen this path, knowing the cost. But now, hope replaced doubt. They weren't just going home, or going back as the future of humanity. The aliens had made a critical error, mistaking human tenacity for weakness. The Defiant departed Nexus Prime, flanked by a fleet of advanced warships. To the aliens, it was exile. But they were unknowingly escorting the seed of a new power rising among the stars. 3 months passed after the judgment. Now the USS Defiant re-entered Council territory. Its appearance had worsened, more dense, burns, and visible repairs. Panels were patched with mismatched plating. Scorch marks lined the hull, but Jake knew the truth. All of it was fake. They had staged the damage meticulously. They wanted to look broken, desperate. Meanwhile, the real work had occurred deep. Inside, Amy Carter sat at her console, monitoring alien broadcasts. The chatter had picked up. Alien voices crackled with tension. "The humans are back," one said. "They were restricted to their own space. Why are they here? Their ship looks damaged. Double, quotes another voice chimed in. "Maybe they had internal problems. Mechanical failure." Amy smirked. The bait was working. The aliens assumed the Defiant had limped back due to malfunction or infighting. Steve Phillips manned the weapon systems. To an outside scan, everything appeared unchanged: outdated plasma turrets, basic missiles. Nothing to suggest what had been built beneath the surface. Lisa Green remained in her lab, though nothing about it was the same. Human engineers had transformed it. Using the data Lisa had recorded, every core system had been rebuilt. The Defiant was no longer the same vessel. At the border of Council territory, a massive alien patrol intercepted them. 27 heavy cruisers boxed them in. Each was 5 times the size of the Defiant. Trailing behind were 3 dreadnoughts, planetary killers armed to the teeth. Admiral Sexton commanded from his towering flagship. His voice boomed through open channels, crackling with rage. "Humans, you are forbidden to leave your sector. You have violated Council law. Your ship will be terminated immediately." Jake activated external comms. His tone was calm, almost cordial. "Admiral Sexton, we've returned to negotiate." Recent developments suggest humanity needs a different kind of relationship with the Council. Sexton's laughter roared through the speakers. Negotiate? With you? You're surrounded by the most advanced fleet in the galaxy. You have nothing to offer but surrender. Jake glanced at his team. No one flinched. They trained relentlessly. For this moment, 3 months of drills, upgrades, strategy. They weren't just a crew anymore. They were the cutting edge of human defiance. Admiral, Jake said, you might be surprised by what we've learned. Sexton's voice came without pause. The only thing we want is your surrender. Fleet, ready weapons. Target their reactor. Disable them for boarding operations. The alien ships began shifting into attack formation. ... formation. Weapons began to glow, casting light so intense it was visible from orbit. The energy signatures from the alien fleet were massive. Any one of their ships had the firepower to reduce the Defiant to ashes. Amy monitored the incoming transmissions. Alien crews were laughing, joking about the primitive humans. Some had started betting on how quickly the fight would end. Steve focused on his tactical screen. The alien ships were behaving exactly as expected. Over the past 3 months, human analysts had dissected alien fleet movements, tactics, and formations. They had anticipated this very pattern. Lisa made last-minute calibrations to the newly installed systems. The enemy had no idea what was coming. While alien officers relaxed in celebration, convinced of victory, humanity had worked relentlessly. The secret to Earth's success was simple. Humans didn't just imitate. They learned, adapted, and then improved. During the trial, the aliens had unwittingly exposed their technology. Human scientists didn't just copy it, they refined it. The ship was now armed with weapons and defenses the galaxy had never imagined. Jake rose from his command chair.
All hands battle stations.
This is bigger than us. We fight for all of humanity's future among the stars. The crew answered without hesitation. Every person on board had signed up knowing this might be a one-way trip, but now hope burned in their veins. They weren't victims, they were history in motion. The aliens had handed them the tools of their own undoing. The first enemy cruiser drifted into firing range. Its energy weapons flared to life, fully charged. The alien commander likely thought it would be over in seconds. One outdated ship against 30 elite war vessels. Admiral Sexton issued the command. All ships opened fire. Eliminate the target. The void came alive with blinding light. 30 ships unleashed their might. The combined power was designed to pierce the strongest known defenses. The firepower sent toward the Defiant could have shattered a moon. Jake watched the data feed, calm and focused. The enemy was about to learn a painful lesson in underestimating the human spirit. The blasts slammed into the Defiant's hull. The alien commanders expected instant destruction. But instead, the impossible unfolded. The energy was absorbed by the outer plating, not deflected, not resisted, absorbed. And then, the ship began to glow. Rather than breaking apart, it looked stronger. Admiral Sexton's stunned voice crackled over open comms. This is impossible. Direct impact confirmed. How is the target still functional? Jake turned on the external speakers. Admiral, while you were busy mocking our rusted panels, you never thought to ask what we learned from you? The tactical? Steve tapped the firing sequence. Everything they had built, tested, and prepared for, now unleashed. The ship struck back, but not with plasma or missiles. What emerged from the Defiant's hidden systems defied conventional physics. The weapons distorted space itself. Purple arcs surged outward, threaded with silver fire, like lightning tearing through reality. The energy wrapped around the nearest cruiser. There was no explosion, no shrapnel, no light show. The alien ship simply ceased to exist. It was there, and it wasn't. No debris, no signal, just absence. Admiral Sexton stared in disbelief. Where's the horizon? What happened to the cruiser? His tactical officer's voice trembled. Admiral, ... the ship ... It didn't register an explosion. It just vanished from all systems. No wreckage, no signal trail. I don't think it was destroyed. I think it was erased. ... is gone. Our scans show no debris, no trace at all. It just vanished. Before Admiral Sexton could respond, another ship blinked out of existence. The same arc of purple energy reached out and erased it. Then a third. Then a fourth. Lisa Green monitored the Defiant's weapons systems, her hands steady. What they had built wasn't just based on alien tech. It was something beyond. During the trial, the aliens had showcased their finest innovations. Human scientists had taken that knowledge, ... and evolved it. They were bending space and time, Lisa reported. Quantum displacement weapon is operating at full efficiency, Captain. Each discharge feeds on the energy they're firing at. Us. The more they attack, the stronger we get. Eh? Jake gave a firm nod. This was the outcome he'd envisioned from the beginning. The aliens had mocked humanity and handed them their downfall. Everything they flaunted had been repurposed and enhanced. Steve Phillips directed the assault with surgical focus. His interface, a fusion of alien systems and human coding, was faster than anything the enemy had ever seen. Their command vessels, Jake ordered. Make their leaders witness this with their own eyes. Steve locked in targets with care. Every strike was designed not just for destruction, but for terror. These weapons left nothing behind. Flames. No fragments. Just empty space. Amy Carter listened in as alien communications descended into panic. Screams filled her headset, languages she'd studied now, crying out in fear. Their ship is eating our weapons, one voice shouted. It's absorbing our fire, another cried. Their tech is outdated, this is impossible. A third voice cracked under pressure. Admiral, we must retreat. We don't understand what we're facing, but Sexton refused. His pride blinded him. Keep firing, it's a trick. They're bluffing. A single human ship can't defeat us. The fleet obeyed. They unleashed weaponry meant for planetary annihilation. But every blast vanished into the Defiant's shields, fuel for its retaliation. Jake stood watching the chaos unfold. He wasn't angry. He was focused and vindicated. The aliens had underestimated the one thing they couldn't quantify: human resilience. Open a fleet-wide channel, Jake said. Me's fingers flew. Over the controls. Channel open, sir. Jake's voice echoed across space, reaching every enemy ship. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the USS Defiant, he said. You called us primitive. You laughed at our vessel. You dismissed our people. Another alien ship vanished behind him, consumed by the purple arc. But you forgot something crucial about humanity, Jake continued. We learn, we adapt, we endure, and we never forget. Alien formations broke. Crews scrambled to flee. Half their fleet was gone. Those who remained now understood this wasn't a battle. This was a reckoning. Lisa looked up from her station. Captain, our energy reserves are at peak. Every volley they send makes us more efficient. We can sustain this fight indefinitely. Steve launched another assault. 3 ships vanished. Simultaneously, no explosion, no scream, just silence.
Ow.
The psychological toll was immense. These alien races had built their war doctrine on force and intimidation.
Oh.
They were watching that doctrine collapse. Admiral Sexton's flagship turned away, engines flaring. He was trying to escape. But the Defiant's new propulsion, a hybrid of alien drives and human ingenuity, outpaced them easily. The tables had turned. Jake's voice returned to the channel. He offered us an escort to our prison, he said. Now you'll escort us to your surrender. There was a pause, then a broken voice. Sexton, shaken and cornered, replied, What do you want? What are your demands? Jake's answer came without hesitation. Respect, equal standing, and a message for the galaxy. Humanity is not weak. We are not primitive. We are here, and we are ready. As more ships vanished behind them, the remaining alien vessels stopped firing. Fear had finally overcome arrogance, and now they understood. The old, battered human ship they had laughed at had become the most powerful vessel in the stars, was now the most feared weapon in the stars. The humans once seen as backward had advanced beyond alien science. In only 3 months, the battle was nearly done. Of 30 ships to 7 cruisers and 3 dreadnoughts, only 5 remained. The greatest armada the galaxy had assembled was gone, Steve reported. Captain, the remaining vessels are standing down. They're requesting terms of surrender. Jake scanned his bridge. His crew had pulled off the impossible. Had begun as ridicule had become a moment that would echo through history. Their surrender is accepted, Jake said. But remind them, this is just the beginning. We've earned our place among the stars. 7 minutes. That's all it had taken for the Defiant to dismantle the most powerful force in known space. Where once 30 ships had floated, only fragments remained, metal shards drifting in a dark, silent void. 5 ships lingered, powerless and pleading. Jake Morrison stood at the viewport, watching the aftermath. The vessel that aliens had laughed at, that had been called a relic, it shifted the balance of power across the galaxy. With only 43 crew members, they'd done what no empire could. Admiral Sexton's flagship hung in space like a broken monument. Its defenses were down, its weapons spent. Its bridge was silent, its crew defeated. The Admiral's voice finally returned, quiet and broken. Humans, ... what have you done? It shouldn't be possible. Your ship, it was obsolete. Your systems. Ancient, how did you destroy everything? Jake opened the coms, voice steady and clear. You made one mistake, Admiral. You judged us by appearances, by metal and wires, not by will or vision. While you laughed at our hull, we were learning, improving. Amy Carter listened as the system buzzed with news. Word of the battle spread like wildfire. Alien outposts and relay stations were relaying reports that a lone human ship had crushed the Zephyrian fleet. Most didn't believe it. Some called it a hoax. But sensor data didn't lie. Steve stood at weapons, watchful. The remaining ships posed no threat now, but he stayed alert. Those who had mocked humanity had just watched their mightiest ships erased. They wouldn't challenge again. Lisa Green transmitted encrypted scans back to Earth. Scientists there would study everything. Alien shield harmonics, propulsion trails, failed weapon types. The knowledge gathered today would change humanity's future. Lisa then looked up from her console. Captain, I detect Council reinforcements coming in from 3 sides, but they're cautious. Their formations are defensive. Gape gave a knowing nod. The others had heard. They weren't charging in. They were afraid. Afraid of the humans they had once dismissed. Admiral Sexton tried again, desperate to make sense of it all. Your ship looked broken, patched. How did you hide that power? Hank smiled. Those dents, that paint, all intentional. We wanted you to see weakness, to underestimate us. Yeah, the Defiant had been gutted and rebuilt from within. But outside the patched metal, the scars had been preserved as camouflage. The deception had worked flawlessly. Amy intercepted more transmissions. Dapton, the Galactic Council is calling an emergency session. Some species are already asking for negotiations. Others want alliances. The political tide had turned. Nations that once sneered were now scrambling to understand how humans had vaulted so far, so fast. Steve added, Captain, 15 alien ships now on long-range sensors. None approaching. They're holding position. Minimum 10,000 kilometers out. Jake didn't blame them. Their world had shifted. Their empires built on supremacy were shaken by a truth. Humans had surpassed them in months. Go open a wideband. Transmission, he ordered. Amy keyed in the signal. Channel live. Jake's voice echoed across the stars. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earthship Defiant. Today, you have seen humanity's true potential. We didn't begin this war, but we ended it. He paused. The galaxy was listening. For too long, you mocked us, called us primitive, tried to cage us like beasts. But you made a fatal error. Silence stretched across space. Jake continued. You underestimated humanity. Our minds, our will, and our ability to turn your lessons into our evolution. Lisa glanced up again. Captain, I'm receiving multiple surrender signals. Some want to share tech. Some are asking for our protection. The galaxy had shifted. The mockers now begged for friendship. Jake faced the display, eyes firm. Humanity does not seek conquest. We want only what is rightfully ours: respect, equality, and peace. Admiral Sexton's voice returned, humbled. Captain, the Zephyrian Empire requests formal peace talks, and ... We apologize. One by one, alien diplomats followed. Species that had once sought to imprison humanity now pleaded for partnership. Ouch. Jake glanced at his crew. Amy was coordinating the requests. Steve monitored the fleets. Lisa was already mapping out advances Earth could achieve from this data. Set course for Earth, Jake said. Our work here is done. The Defiant turned toward home. Its hulls still bore the fake scars that had fooled the galaxy. Behind it, alien ships floated, not in pursuit but in awe. Stars stretched ahead, Jake reflected. They had been ridiculed. But now, humanity had earned its place among the stars. The ship they mocked had become the blade that reshaped the galaxy.